Good morning. Coffee time with Ernest must go on. Man, it's especially good today. I say that every day. So I saw that one of my videos had been shared, and the person wrote on it, skip the first 17 minutes. Go straight to minute 42. So I got to thinking, I'm like, man, are the first 17 minutes just shit? What does that mean? Well, I like to let people come in and say good morning if they feel inspired to do so, but I hope you find value in the first 30 minutes of my live. So I'm curious, how many people understand the 5 steps that have been described from Abraham? What are the 5 steps? Well, they're called steps, but are they really steps, or are they more like phases? Maybe that's a better word, phase rather than step. Step starts to sound a little haughty, doesn't it? Like oh, I'm on step 4. What step are you on? Oh, I'm on step 2. Good morning. Thanks for coming in. I'm actually really excited about this topic and where it came from. But I'm also really excited about this coffee, so we'll see which gets more of my attention. That's so delicious. Good morning. Sorry. On your way back to bed, and then here I am. I'm a little bit early today. It's 2:43 for me, but I woke up 2 o'clock, jumped out of bed, clicked my heels, and I had this Facebook Live idea. It resonated a little bit from yesterday evening. So I'll start with contrast. So one of the very important aspects of law of attraction is that we're always going to be experiencing some form of contrast in our experience. We live in a vibrational universe. Everything is about vibration. This isn't new information. So the law of attraction has been applied way before the words law of attraction were ever put together and put into a book. The ancient masters knew that their mind created reality way before Abraham came through Esther to talk to us, to help guide us. So, of course, you can look backwards to see all of the different ways that the law of attraction had been applied. Why did they call the book The Secret? Because it had been applied for thousands of years. Because it's a law of the universe. It's not trademarked by Abraham. Now, Abraham is a teacher, giving us this message, telling us about the law of attraction so that we can work with it, and we can live every moment in a very glorious vibration, in an amazing vibration. Feeling. We feel glorious. We feel amazing. That's what Abraham wants for us. That's why they're sharing the information. But they're just sharing the information. Good morning. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I have seen some contrast popping up here and there in my experience. And then that will lead to this step 5. And I want to explain step 5. Because I honestly don't see too many people who are able to speak about this step from a position of authority. And when I say position of authority, I just mean that they're in it, or they've experienced it. So if you're talking about drug addiction with somebody, and they have a PhD on drug addiction, but they've never been addicted to drugs, they may have a lot of wonderful information to share, but they're going to be missing that one thing, that authority to speak about certain things because they've never been in that situation. Authority. And it doesn't, this authority idea, again, it's not separating us. It's not different levels, because I don't really believe in that. I don't really believe that anybody is better than anybody else. But I know that I'm not. I know that other people don't think that necessarily. They think if they're operating from step 5 or step 4, then they're superior to those who are in step 2, or step 3, or step 1. So the steps of Abraham are easily accessible on the internet, or they're in Ask and It Is Given. Actually, I don't think all 5 are there, right? I'm not sure. I'll have to go back to the book and see it. But there's lots of videos on it. I actually really love the Q&As. All the YouTube videos, everything like that. I really like Q&A. That's one of the magical things about Eckhart Tolle's book, is that it's in Q&A, and that's so cool, right? You get to see the question, and then you get to see the direct, clear answer. What step is Eckhart Tolle in? That's interesting. I wonder what step Buddha was in. So here's some of the contrast that I'm seeing. And I'll tell you how I view contrast, and you can tell me if it fits step 5. So I have eyes. I can see. I know when somebody is being rude to me. It's very clear. Somebody walks up to me and says, Ernest, I don't want to, swear intentionally, but, F off. That's rude. Anybody can see that, right? So I've been seeing a lot of these little things popping up. I just see them. I'm like, that's interesting. Wow, that's interesting. So somebody yesterday, how can we change our mindset? Mindfulness is one way. So I'll try to come back to that question. I just want to hit on a couple points really quick, and then we can get into some lively Q&A, because I love Q&A. So I have been experiencing a little bit of this contrast. It's in my experience. It's in my field of perception. So somebody yesterday said that don't listen to Ernest. He's just after book sales, which is interesting because I haven't written the book yet. I'm probably 6 months off, from even having a completed work. And, that was brought into my field of perception. And rudeness was brought into my field of perception. That's interesting. So what is that telling me? What is there for me to learn from? Well, number one, if a person is being rude, where are they in the steps? Right? Can you be in step 5 and still have a reaction that causes rudeness? That causes you to say things that are perhaps unfounded, that are judgmental, that are rude? What step does that fall into? If you were in step 5 or step 3, would that ever occur to you to be rude to somebody? I don't think on a regular basis I'm rude to anybody. I'm generally kind and compassionate, and I care about people. So how did I attract that, right? How did I attract these people who are basically just hating on me? And then I realized that every spiritual person, every spiritual teacher that was offering truth was persecuted in some way. Hi, June. Good morning. Did they attract it? So these spiritual teachers who are just going around sharing their truth and sharing their message, and then they get persecuted from it. It scares people. It's interesting. So did they attract it, or is that something Where is that coming from? And I see a lot of people say, oh, you can't explain it to them. They're still in step 3. Does that resonate with anybody? I mean, does being rude to somebody and telling them that they don't understand abrasively, is that in alignment with anything? With love, with peace, with joy, with feeling glorious? If you feel glorious, why would you try to tear anybody down? Why would you say any rude thing? Does that make sense? Can you see how sometimes you can just observe a person's behavior? And you don't have to judge it. I mean, if somebody comes up to you and they're rude, right? If they trip you, then they trip you. If they walk up and they slap you in the back of the head, they slap you in the back of the head. That's an observation. I just got slapped. What the hell? Judgment would be something different. You would say that, you start to interject opinion. So somebody did that about me. They said that everything that I'm doing has an ulterior agenda. Well, I'm putting in about 30 hours a week for free, What is my ulterior motive there? I don't understand. And there's a reason I don't understand. Because I'm not matching that frequency vibrationally. I don't match with rudeness. So this was all showing me something. And I just really wanted to give this example of when I experience contrast, what does that mean? What is it showing me? It's a very good point, Anna Marie. Thank you. So what happens when I see contrast? What does it mean when you're operating in step 5? And what's beyond step 5? Well, there's a reason that Abraham isn't talking about beyond step 5. Because why would they focus their message on a small fraction of their audience? Why are we talking about some of the deepest issues facing mankind when people still litter? That's the interesting thing. I consider myself a spiritual teacher. I have some things to teach. I have some tools and some tricks of attention and some really great methods of no method to help people cross the divide between theory and application. And I just want to offer that. And if you find value, put it in your toolbox and see how it fits. If you don't find value, throw it away. It doesn't make really any difference to me. I'm that artist who just draws the art in the sand, knowing that the tide will wash it away. Hi, Sammy. So I was experiencing this contrast. People were coming into my field of perception that were A, being rude, very judgmental, and then they say it's just a matter of my perception. I mean, no, you're saying something about me that is untrue. It's not just a matter of perception. It's not just what I'm seeing, Somebody slaps me in the face, they can't say, oh, that was just a matter of your perception. I'm pretty sure your hand just touched my cheek and you did it in a very rude way. And that's when things start to get abstract, Oh, it's just your perceptions. It's just your viewpoint, your perspective of getting slapped in the face. They can, Sammy, yeah. But that's teaching me something, right? What does that contrast mean? So first of all, I have no emotional reaction. I have no change on my level of feeling. It doesn't faze me. Space junk could fall from the sky, land on my car, and I'm just going to look at it like I got to get a new car. Yeah. This must be a sign that that car wasn't for me anymore, Maximum gas mileage in my Toyota Prius is not for me. Maybe I need a sports car so I can feel what it's like to zoom on the highway. Who knows? That's interesting, Sammy. Yeah. So all of these experiences are coming into my field of perception, the day that I was removed from the Vortex group, I had a heckler. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So there's a heckler, okay. And then I had somebody telling me that I was giving too much for free and that I'm undercutting coaches. And then I mysteriously get kicked out of the group for not breaking a rule. It's all very interesting. So this has nothing to do with anybody else. I'm just evaluating what this contrast means, right? This is the law of attraction. I'm just explaining it from my own personal experience. No harm, no foul. I'm not calling any individual out in any way, shape, or form. I'm just giving you an example of, oh, I see contrast in my experience. Well, how do I react to that? Well, when I got booted from the group, I had no emotional reaction from it. Good morning. You're welcome. I like talking. I'm good at it. It feels good. It feels fun. So I do it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be here. If it didn't make me feel good, I wouldn't be here. I'm following the law of attraction, following the principles. You know, so over the past week, I've been experiencing that quite a lot. You know, there's folks coming into my experience, and you know, they're being rude. But I've never been rude to them, right? So I'm not. How am I attracting that? What is that? What is that contrast? It's something to learn from. It's showing me my desire. That's the same for everybody, no matter what step you're in. Step 5 just is kind of brings you back to the beginning, right? Because you're still experiencing contrast. But in step 5, the contrast just doesn't faze you. It doesn't faze me. I don't. There's nothing that can take me off of my now, my moment. Feeling glorious. You know, so I see the rude comment on Facebook, and I have no real reaction to that. I'm a little taken aback. I'm like, whoa. That's interesting. You tell me you're in step 5. Embrace step 5. But you're being very, very rude. How does that work? How does that align? Would somebody in step 5 who is virtually unfazed, who doesn't have the emotional reaction, who doesn't change their feeling based on contrast, react in such a way that is unfriendly, unhelpful? Of course not. So you can always identify who's talking and just talking and who's actually operating from a position of authority. You can feel that. When you talk to the doctor who's never been addicted, you can kind of feel it. I didn't do a talk on steps 1 through 4. I'm sorry. I can, you know, I can talk about those in more depth. That's an interesting point, Olivia, yeah. So I've noticed that sometimes power attracts weakness because they want to take that power. And by power, I mean personal power. I never mean power over another human being. A person's reaction is ego reacting to the action. Well, yeah. So I see what's going on. And I'll just explain for just a moment, just a little bit of back history about this, right? So, and there's nothing negative about this. This is all learning, right? This is all helping me understand more clearly. There's nothing negative about this. This isn't existing in the realm of negativity in any way, shape, or form. It's how we apply these steps. It's how we apply the law of attraction when we're experiencing contrast. So even operating from step 5, you're experiencing contrast. There's contrast, except I have no reaction to it. I have no emotional response to it because I don't have the internal thought patterns that perpetuate that type of thinking. I don't think that way. I simply don't. When I see somebody, I don't think judgment thoughts. I just simply don't. You know, after doing this for 20 years, my mind is different. My mind is fundamentally switched. And that's when we start to get to what's beyond. Step 5. I honestly believe that as we get closer to Source on a more consistent basis, after years and years and decades, minding your own vibration. I like that. I'll explain step 5. Yeah. Minding your own vibration. That's true. So somebody posted that the path with the least resistance is not always easy. So I'm going to give you guys an analogy, and I just want you to tell me if you resonate with this analogy. What does it mean? It's none of our business what people think of us. That's true. But when contrast comes into our experience, it's teaching us about our desires. It's teaching us about where we need to go next so that we continue to evolve, so that the desires continue. Because without the desire, if an organism doesn't have the desire to move, it will not evolve. If an organism doesn't have the desire to procreate, it will not evolve. If human beings didn't have the desire to gain knowledge, to gain wisdom, to gain enlightenment, to gain freedom, we would not evolve. So the desire is necessary. Of course. So even operating from step 5, the desire is absolutely necessary. So what about the path with the least resistance? Is it always easy? I'd like to know what you guys think. There's 36 people watching. Just drop a line. And sometimes I forget that I asked questions. And then when I see the recording, I see yes, yes, no, yes. And I'm like, what are they doing? Because it's not live anymore. But sometimes I forget that I asked questions. So I'm going to ask a question. When we talk about the path with the least resistance, is it always easy? Okay, Sammy says not always easy. Anybody else? What do you think? The path with the least resistance, is it always easy? With ease, meaning not difficult, ever. Not hard. Hi. Is the path with least resistance always easy? Karen says no. No. Interesting. So I think the consensus right now, it should be though. Okay, so here's the interesting thing, Sammy. Let's say that I'm a rock climber. And has anybody ever really studied rock climbing? Like the beginnings of rock climbing, like in Yosemite? And yes, you've studied rock climbing, or you know a little bit about rock climbing? So, rock climbing, you know, the people who rock climb, they tell you that when they're 2 skyscrapers up on the Dawn Wall, the Dawn Wall is just a huge flat rock surface that faces the rising sun. So they call it the Dawn Wall. Royal Martin was one of the first people to scale the Dawn Wall. It took him months. Now people can do it in just a few hours without ropes, without pulleys, because they evolved. That's interesting. So they've mentioned that when you get 2 skyscrapers up, there is no explanation, there's no words for the deep peace that they feel, the sheer joy and jubilation of doing something. So they're climbing the Dawn Wall, you know. So the Dawn Wall is about 3 Empire State Buildings worth of climbing. Vertical. Straight vertical. And yet people find amazing sources of grace and joy. Right? It's amazing to them to be able to do this. So when a person is climbing, they're looking for the path with the least resistance on that wall. You know, they want to find the easiest way up that wall, you know, because they want to conserve energy. You know, they want to be able to accomplish their goal with the least amount of resistance. They don't want more resistance. They don't want more wind resistance. They don't want more physical exertion than is absolutely necessary. Right? So they're climbing up their wall, and they're looking for the path with the least resistance. So they find one. They say, okay, this line to the peak is the path with the least resistance. Who here thinks rock climbing is easy? Who here thinks that that path to the top will be easy, effortless? It will be the most effortless because it's the path with the least resistance, right? So it's the most easy. They've chosen the best path, the path that leads to the least amount of suffering, the least amount of resistance. But it's still not easy. You have to have incredible physical strength to climb a wall that's 3 skyscrapers high. Is it easy? Of course not. Of course not. It's easier, yes. Much easier. The path with with least resistance is always easier than any other path. So, women out there, we have to procreate, right? We want to continue our evolution. You know, we want to continue our species. So we procreate. So I'm a man, I don't know. I'm going to ask the women out there, is birthing easy? Even if you follow the path with the least resistance? Is it easy? Is going through 9 months of the process of bringing a child into this world, is it easy? You know, you can find the path with the least resistance, an epidural, for example, less pain. But is it ever easy? Is it ever completely effortless? No, that's interesting. So bringing another human being into this world fundamentally is not easy. So I'm a martial artist. I want my martial art to go as high as I can go. But it's not, you know, the birthing process is beautiful, of course, it's worth it. And you can find the easiest way, right? Not resisting it. Yes, yes. Easy if we don't resist it. Easier if we don't resist it. But when you have an 8-pound baby coming out of your womb, you know, your body, it's not, it's traumatic to your physical body. It is not easy. There's nothing easy about it. But it can be more effortless because there's less resistance, less mental resistance, less physical resistance. And then you find that, you know, that was easier than I thought. You know, I learned from it so much more because I allowed, right? I just let it go. I didn't cling to the resistance of having a baby. Of course, if you're resisting it, then it's going to be even worse. I'm talking about the physicality. I don't know too many people who would say physically birthing is easy. I've never actually met anybody. So we're getting a little bit away from abstract. Eases resistance, yes, eases, more easy, path with the least resistance, less difficult, of course. So as a martial artist, I really want my martial art to go high. I really want to be good at it. This is my desire. It's been my desire for a very long time. So I wake up every day and I practice, and I enjoy it, and I love it. And sometimes my legs hurt afterwards. And I love that too, because I know I did good work. Right? So that's just my perspective on that pain. But it's not easy. It's not easy to me. It's fun, and it's more easy. Yes, it's always easier than I thought it would be. That's true. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, well, I haven't had a baby, but just in terms of martial arts. So when you're operating from step 5, the difficulty does not change your emotional vibration, because everything is about emotion. Everything is about feeling, and the thought leads to emotion, and then you can gauge your emotions. So if you're able to have something that is painful and yet no response to it, it's easy. You know, some people can actually endure massive amounts of pain with their mind. And so, you know, that becomes more easy. Aha. So we're getting into something else here. We're getting into a little bit of perspective. That's interesting. So my martial art, I want it to go really, really high. Well, that means I got to do a lot of work now. Or I'm just going to have to go back. I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to go back. Start again. Start with the basics. Start with the basics. Start with the basics. I would agree with that, Grace. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, the path with the least resistance isn't always going to feel easy. It's not. So if you're following a path with least resistance and you're still like, you know, this still requires a little bit of pain. It still requires a little bit of difficulty. But I know that this is the easiest way. Neuroplasticity? New neural pathways? Yeah, taking your focus off your migraine. We can overcome pain. Pain are just electrical signals sent to our brain. Now, who here has done that? So how practical is that to us right now, here in this experience? So we can talk about all of these abstract ideas all we want to. That, oh, pain is just a frame of mind. It's just an electrical signal sent to your brain. Well, no shit. And I still feel that, you know? I'm not Buddha. I'm a human being. If you prick me, do I not bleed? Did it not hurt? Well, of course. Yeah. So you found the workaround, Patsy. I like that. Of course there's a topic, yeah. So there's also a topic on alcoholism. And most people who are alcoholics will listen to it and they won't be really helped from it because of the physicality of the addiction. Which means that there is a withdrawal, a physical withdrawal. And if it's strong enough, if your addiction's strong enough, the withdrawal can kill you. But the withdrawal is the path with the least resistance, because if you continue to do the drugs, it'll destroy you. And that's not least resistance at all. So I can tell you, coming from a place of authority, that detoxing from a physical addiction is the path with the least resistance. And it fucking sucks. Just straight up. It's terrible. Pain is contrast. It's okay. That's right. So once we start to get to stage 5, we realize that, right? So once we're in this 5th stage, we realize that we don't have to have a reaction to the contrast. We don't have to have an emotional response to the pain. So, I'm in my deep stance, and it's okay. The pain is okay. I know it's there. I embrace it. Right? Do you see how I'm describing the steps for people who are familiar with them? Am I not describing the steps right now? So in step 5, yes, there's resistance. I have no emotional response to that resistance. I have pain, which is a form of contrast, and I have no emotional response, no change in my level of feeling because of inner peace. Inner peace is the root. It's the game changer. Who here knows that? Who here realizes that? That when we talk about operating from a position of authority and inner peace, the rules change. Everything is different, because Abraham isn't talking to a room full of people who have achieved inner peace. So the focus of their talk, the focus of their message is on the majority of the people. I mean, I'm not going to get in front of 100 people and only say a message that's going to attract one person, or that is directed towards one person. Of course not. That doesn't make any sense at all. I love contrast, of course. So this contrast I was seeing yesterday, I'm like, this is teaching me something. Yes, like I'm about to learn my new desire. Like, this is exciting. Inner peace is the game changer. It changes everything. It changes all the rules. Because inner peace is closer to source. Inner peace is not residing in extremes. Jennifer, you're right. Thank you. I completely agree with you guys. I really love all of these perspectives. Even if somebody is disagreeing with me, that's okay. you know? We can talk. I'm not any better than anybody else. And I'm going to be wrong sometimes. I'm okay with that, you know? I'm okay with being wrong sometimes. Everybody is wrong sometimes. We're humans. I mean, I am. Maybe somebody else is just in a human form, I guess. I don't know. I can't tell for sure. But I make mistakes. And when I make mistakes, I don't judge myself. I don't get down on myself. I never lose momentum. It's all about momentum. Contrast is going to happen. But we want it to be like this. Not like this. I realize that when I watch these back, like my finger's going the opposite direction. So I think that's clear, right? We want to go up, but there's still dips along the way. But if you're operating from stage 5, good morning, you don't have a reaction to it. You don't feel it. You know, on the level of feeling, it doesn't change you. And if you have inner peace, well, that's the glue. It would be boring without contrast. Because contrast is where that evolution comes from, right? Contrast is where we see our desire. So the people that were heckling me, I'm like, that's really interesting. I'm excited because this is the dawn of something new for me. So the contrast that I saw, you know, the people being rude to me and saying that my motives are impure, you know, those are judgments. Those are opinions that they're placing on me that are, of course, I think they're unfounded, but they don't, and that's okay. I don't judge them. I see the rudeness. It's just like if somebody slaps me in the face, I felt that. I'm not going to be like, that's a matter of perspective. Thank you. Actually, maybe I will do that, but the bottom line is they slapped me in the face, and I felt that. That's the contrast. It is. You're right. But Olivia, this is an opportunity for me to learn from contrast. It's an opportunity for me to show you guys how I am subject to the blueprint. And the reason I call it the blueprint is because the law of attraction is not trademarked, licensed by Abraham. As much as I love the teachings of Abraham, it's absurd to assume that they're inventing it. No, they've never said that. They've never, ever said that. They're just explaining it in a way that we can understand, and that is beautiful. Contrast is neither good nor bad. It's just where we are vibrationally. Thank you, Jax. Alignment stirs people up sometimes. I like that too. That resonates with me. And if it didn't resonate with me, Olivia, I wouldn't judge you. We just have a different understanding. That's irrelevant to me because I'm at peace. So the people who were acting a certain way with me, it didn't affect me emotionally. But I was able to see the contrast is there for a reason. And it taught me something. I learned from it. And I'm about to tell you guys some of the other contrasts that I've been experiencing doing my Facebook Lives. And, some of the things that people are sending me. I'm starting to experience more contrast. And it takes a lot of practice. First of all, nobody would slap me in the face because I practiced a martial art for 20 years. So good luck getting your hand that close to me. Within arm's distance, it's a different story. Until my handicapped daughter became deathly ill. Yeah. It showed me that you need to... See, there you go. We're learning from the contrast. I'm okay with that. I want to learn. I'm not worried about any of that, Olivia. But thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm not worried about... I don't have any worry thoughts. I don't have any hard feelings. I don't have anything negative towards anybody. I have just love. Because love is intimately tied to my attention, my awareness. It's who I am. God is love. I am God. I am the I am. I'm the master of the universe. I just know it now. And I've known it for a long time. So I was operating in stage 3 in early 2000s. I knew everything was going to work out. I knew that I was going to manifest easily. I knew it was all going to happen. And then I mastered that. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I agree, Georgina. I really believe in love. I really believe in the power of love and that feeling of deep gratitude. And guess what? That's who I am. So when I see contrast, I approach it with deep love and gratitude. Thank you for showing me this contrast. Thank you so much, because this is how I evolve. This is how I have new desires, because I'm in this state where I don't really cling and attach. I'm a minimalist. I don't really have a lot of things. I take responsibility for my time here on earth, so I buy in bulk. And again, I'm not judging anybody else. This is just me. This is how I manifest my principles. I don't go around telling anybody what they should do. I don't preach. I'm not trying to use force to change the world. I'm not going around being an activist. I'm not fueling that energy in any way, shape, or form. I'm just sharing my love. I'm just sharing my message. I'm sharing this energy with folks. It's just sharing. That's all. I just want to share. I don't want anything from anybody. I want my book to be in every library. And the reason I want it to be in libraries is because that's some resistance that I've had. I've had resistance to elitism. People thinking that they're better than others. I have resistance to that. Now, it doesn't change me here. I'm still at peace because I'm aware of my resistance. I've embraced it. It has no power over me, My thoughts are cutting edge. My mind is cutting edge because I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future. I have quieted my ego. I have made humility and acceptance, and I move forward like a fox on ice, cautiously, deliberately, and gently. Yeah. There you go, Anna Marie. Yeah. And stage 5, me operating, I'm operating beyond stage 5. I'm experiencing things that I cannot talk about right now. Completely free. What happens when a person is completely free long enough? I believe. Yeah, I love that Cartole, of course. Yeah. I'm living in the moment, of course, but I'm not just observing, because then I can't evolve. I haven't written my book, so I'm not trying to sell my book right now. Yeah, I promise. I don't care if anybody buys my book. I think people must buy it to get it into every library, though. That's the step right in front of me. But I will never have more than $999,999.99, because I want to use anything beyond that to help. There's people who just need a little bit of capital to make their dreams come true. I can be that person. I am that person right now for people. I have money. I don't want more money. That's not in my field of perception. That's not really in my desire. And if it's in someone else's, then of course, that's important. That's telling you what the next step is. I don't know, Muji. Why do I want to help people in that way? Because it makes me feel good. Why am I sharing with you guys right now? Because it makes me feel good. I'm still following the law of attraction. I'm not trying to change anybody. I just feel good when I talk. I feel good when I share what's worked for me. I feel good when somebody says, Ernest, it's clicking. And now I'm a more powerful manifester. That feels good to me. I feel the love. I feel the connection. But I'm not trying to change people. I'm not going to door preaching the law of attraction. The good news of Abraham Hicks. I'm not trapped by the teachings of Abraham. Can you follow the teachings of Abraham without being trapped by them? That's the method of no method. That's the steps of no steps. So yes, my spiritual teaching will start to get away from certain things because I see what it's doing. And I don't resonate with it. Level 5, level 4, level 3, level 2, level 1. Separation. Cool. Muji. Muji. Am I saying that right? Mujai or Muji? I've never heard of them. So have I been clear so far about how I react, how I deal with contrast, because as long as I'm in a vibrational universe, as long as I'm in this form, there'll be dips. I have dips in energy. Let's say I didn't sleep well. Physical energy, I dipped a little bit. What happens? Nothing. I'm at peace. I don't need to ride that wave of I'm tired. Thank you. So step 5 is when we've been applying the law of attraction. I can go through this long list of manifestations. I've manifested perfect health. I'm not sick. I can run like the wind. I move with force, with power, and force. Okay, I don't mean meeting force with force. It's like energy, force. I move with grace, with ease, with effortlessness. That's what I wanted. That was my desire. Because I believe that evolution is directly proportional to the adaptation to change. New desires is a way for us to adapt to change. So I'm taking that theory a step further. So yes, our desires is how we evolve. And it helps us adapt to change. There's an entirely different thing. Yes, Olivia, I can agree with that. Yes. Yeah. It's deeply feeling based. But there's some stuff, Olivia, doesn't it still make you want to share though? Like what is beyond all of that? I want everybody to feel the way I do because it's glorious, like all of the time. Walking, talking, like right now. The feeling I have in my whole body because of how long I have maintained body awareness. Application. So I'm not just going to get up here and read to you. And I'm not just going to check everybody on, no, Abraham doesn't say that. You're stuck in step 2, you feeble-minded step 2er. No, I'm sorry. I have too much love for you guys to even approach you in that way. I don't want anybody to approach me in that way. I want to get what I give. Where my thoughts go, my energy goes. The Chinese have said that for 10,000 years. The yi leads qi. The mind leads reality. The mind creates reality. Einstein knew this. Newton knew this. Socrates, Plato, they all knew this. They all knew this. It was no secret. It didn't originate with Abraham. They made the whole law of attraction, which, have you ever noticed, what's the other word they use besides manifestation? Why isn't that word being used as much? Is that trademarked or something? Is manifestation now trademarked that I need to cite Abraham Hicks if I say the words manifestation? Actualization. That's a fun word. Actualize. There's a lot of things that can, but we can be like that I don't know what they're like little dolls that have air in the bottom. When you bump them, they just pew back up. That's being, you move with change. You change with change, with ease, with effortlessness. How to remain grounded? Well, you can physically remain grounded through energy techniques. I'm grounded right now because I have a lot of awareness in my feet. So my big toe is slightly grasping the ground because that's something I learned in my martial art. And from that, I have an amazing body awareness. And I stay physically grounded, energetically. I move my chi. I move my energy with my mind. It takes most people, more than 10 years to learn how to move chi with your mind. And it feels fantastic. Oh my God, it's like a drug at first. It's like Where has this feeling been? It really starts to feel like orgasm all throughout the day. My body is vibrating in such a way that nothing can take me away from that if I don't let it, if I don't allow it, if I don't choose it. So contrast is just showing me something. So I'm going to tell you guys what it's been showing me. And, this is a little bit of, I have 45 people in here. I'm on Facebook Live. There's 100,000 people or so who could check into this, and they can see that Ernest is going to make himself vulnerable. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of contrast in what it's been showing me. I have felt a little bit of resistance, and a little bit of resistance to me is, trust me, it's very little. But when I feel it, I'm like, what's that trying to show me? I don't attach to it. I don't cling to it. It can exist without existing. So Jax, interestingly, that's what I'm about to get into. So I was feeling some resistance. And when the person mentioned, me just trying to peddle a book, I felt a little in the back of my mind. I'm like, ooh, what is that? Let me just look at that for a second. Let me just observe it. What was that resistance in the back of my mind? That's interesting. There must be something for me to learn from. Well, people are sending me, all of these messages. That coach sent me the message saying that I'm offering too much for free. And when I went to that coach's page, I felt sick, And then I went to a different coach's page, and I felt sick. So this is giving me something. This is telling me something, right? This is all contrast coming into my experience. And if it's making me feel, then it is, in fact, taking me out of step 5, back to step 1. At least for a flash. Because I don't cling to it. I don't attach to it. There's no momentum of thought to drive it into some sort of psychological suffering or some sort of resistance. I don't resist it. I embrace it. I love it. There had been a period where I wasn't really seeing any contrast, and I felt a little like Eckhart Tolle. I love Eckhart Tolle, but he is not evolving. That I can tell. Which is okay. That's, he has so much to offer, I'm not going to judge his evolution, but I don't see a lot of these creative ideas coming from him anymore. We have the power of now, which is Meister Eckhart, which is all, quite old, and Eckhart Tolle says that himself. Again, he just has a way of delivering information in a way that is very clear. That can be a key in the beginning, Jennifer, that's true. However, I have found that when you are listening to another human being every day, you're replacing your own internal dialogue with theirs. And I've moved from that. That internal dialogue isn't necessary for me. I don't think positive because I don't think negative. I just think creative. And from that creativity comes new desires. And then I still see a little bit of contrast here and there, which leads to new desires. So I'm going to some of these different profiles on Facebook, and I'm seeing, these different things, and it's causing a little flash. Well, I'm going to embrace that. I'm going to love it. So I'm going to embrace that little spark in the back of my mind. In the beginning, Jennifer, I listened to a lot of audiobooks, and I used it to reprogram. It's a step. It's a tool, right? Everything is just a tool that you use until you don't need it. Because once you have this feeling of inner peace on a consistent basis, why would you need to listen to anybody else? Why would you need to have this constant words in your mind from somebody else when you're already operating from a position of inner peace, when you're already in this step 5? When you're already able to not attach, not cling, not have the propensity to create your own psychological suffering when you have already been manifesting like a maniac and you already have everything it is that you desired and you continue to evolve? Why would I continue to... And number one, I've already listened to them all. Why am I going to try to drive somebody else's words deeper into my own subconscious? Now that can be very useful as a tool for somebody who has been stuck in negativity for years and years and years. You know, these steps make people look for, they start to aspire for step 5, which takes them out of it automatically. Once we add these steps, now you have people just like, ooh, I see step 5. Yes, it gives you inspiration. I can understand that. That's a tool. That's an amazing tool. I agree with you, Jennifer. That's a wonderful, wonderful tool. And I did it myself. I would listen to Eckhart Tolle while walking to work or something. You know, I would listen to these things and they helped me a lot. But then that was just a tool I didn't need anymore. And if I can't explain the blueprint so that you can operate it from yourself, you know, you can work with the principles yourself, then what am I really doing? You know, I don't want to lead cults. You know, I'm not trying to start a church. I don't want any of that stuff. I just want to share what's worked for me and walk away. Drop the mic and just go. Maybe somebody can benefit from it. I don't know. You know, stepping stones are important, but sometimes somebody looks at that 10th stepping stone and then they fall in the water because their eyes weren't on the step right in front of them. It's the step right in front of us. So the point that I'm trying to make is, and for those who have listened to me, you know, they're making these different connections. So one of the points that I'm trying to make is that no matter where you're at, you're going to experience contrast. And when you're operating from this step 5, you have no feeling. You have no, your feeling doesn't change. You don't ride that wave. You have inner peace. And my point, thank you very much. So here's the point. Underline it, write it down, circle it if you want to. Inner peace is a game changer. Absolute game changer. Because you'll start to operate from a place of just pure love. Good morning, Shana. That's my point. Circle it, tattoo it if you want to. Inner peace. Having arrived. Joy. This feeling of deep gratitude for every moment that you're living. That's what Abraham wants for us. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, I don't care. If you feel glorious in every moment, buck a step. I enjoy being passionate about things. It feels good when I get passionate about something. So of course I do it. I do what feels good. Inner peace. That's what people aren't talking about. Operating from a position of gratitude all the time. So I'm grateful for the people who are bringing in contrast, who are trying to tear me down. It's teaching me something very, very important. And I see it. I don't have an emotional response to it, and I love them for it. You know, my message to them as they were being extremely rude to me was, I love you guys. Like, I appreciate this. You know, you guys are vibrating high from trying to bring me down. That's okay. I love you guys. I mean you no ill will. Thank you for teaching me today. I appreciate the lesson. If you guys jump into this and they watch this broadcast, I love you. Seriously. Thank you for showing me what I needed to see. You know, that little bit of contrast, my reaction to it, showed me my newest desire. And what I don't want. I'm glad I've piqued your curiosity. Actually, I'm not. It doesn't really make any difference to me. Love doesn't operate that way. I just give. If people find value, cool. If they don't, throw it away back to the ocean. The necklace is a symbol of going with the flow. I've had it for about 6 years now, I think, maybe 5 years. It was handmade And the guy lives in Hawaii who makes them, and he makes them from ivory husk. And being a native, he has access to that husk. So he carved the little flow guy. So it's a little Tai Chi emblem, and it's a symbol of going with the flow, not meeting resistance with force or tension. Jennifer, my teacher, who I've been practicing with for 6 years, is Chan Buddhist. He just visited the city of 10,000 Buddhas in San Francisco. Great comments. I really appreciate you guys interacting with me. But this all led me to something. And I'm about to get into that now. So the messages that people were sending me was leading me to coaches' pages. And now I want to tell you guys, this is my resistance, right? I'm being a little bit vulnerable with you and telling you what my resistance was. And I just want you to know that on the scale of resistance, it's just a flash for me. That's all I need to learn. And I embrace it, and I love it, and it causes no psychological discontent. It causes no psychological drama. I have no psychological drama. I've gotten out of my own way a long time ago. That's how I went from this step 3 to step 5. If we're going to put this in terms of steps. If that helps, I don't know. If it's a tool that is working for you, then, but steps don't really make much difference to me. But I know that people, who are following Abraham, are really into these steps. And they use it as and I've seen it used as an elitist tactic. I am step 5. Who wants to learn from me? All I need is your credit card number. There's my resistance. And anybody who's been working with me, Shayna, hasn't my resistance to doing all of this always been taking money? I was forced, essentially. Not forced, because nobody can force me. It's my company. I hired a group, or I brought a group together to manage me, to manage the things that I was doing so that I could fully work on my book. And then I started doing all of these lives, and I started doing all of these things, and then people wanted one-on-one attention with me. They were asking me. 3 months ago, I wasn't a coach. My teachers were just really like, Ernest, it's your turn. It's your turn. You learn when you teach. You learn when you teach. It's your next stage of evolution. And I didn't have the desire until now, until some contrast showed me that it's my turn to teach. But my resistance to it is always taking money. That's my resistance. That's the thing that I need to embrace even more. Sammy, I'm a human being too. I love you guys, and I hope you guys can appreciate me as well. I don't judge anybody's flaws. I don't judge anybody, the way that they are. And I mean, if you guys want to judge me, if there's somebody out there judging me, that's okay. It doesn't affect me. So that's my resistance. I have a resistance to taking money for offering people this information. But then again, if I'm doing 30 hours for free and I'm working with people, it takes a lot of energy. This is the law of thermodynamics. Let's not forget that there's other laws of the universe that we're working with, such as the transference of energy. You have to have more coming in than you do going out. So I'm going to these coaches' pages, and I'm not going to be specific. I'm not saying that all coaches are like this, but would you equate resistance to mental blocks? I think that they're similar. I don't use the word block because that means that the energy's not flowing. So maybe a plug, so a clog. That's the thing, Jax. So that's my announcement. I'm not going to do one-on-one anymore. Not for right now. I'm going to focus on my book. And I'm going to really, really work on getting this book into libraries. And I'm going to try to find ways to get it to everybody. because I don't believe in elitism. You know, when I wanted to study yoga, it was over $120 a month. And I'm like, wow, this is yoga for the elite. Of course I can afford it. But then I see so many people, I wanted them to come with me, and they're like, Ernest, I can't afford $120 a month. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, hey, come do yoga with me. I really enjoy. Yes, you're right, Marie. Or, I'm sorry, Marla. I'm embracing the contrast, of course. Yeah. Bye, Sammy. See you next time. So I'm embracing the contrast. That's the step 5, is that we embrace the contrast. We look forward to it, and it doesn't really affect us. You know, it doesn't take me out of my peace. It doesn't. But it still shows me, right? So this was showing me what I needed to see, because I was having a little bit of, whoa, that's not making me feel good. So I go to the coaches' pages, and it seemed like everything was reaching. It's that reaching energy. Do you guys know what reaching energy is? So reaching energy is when somebody comes into the room and they try to dominate it, and nobody makes an energetic connection with it. You know, they're trying to be funny, or they're trying to be the center of attention. But they're falling out of rhythmic entrainment. They're going against the vibration that was currently existing in the room. So when you walk into a room, or let's say you're sitting in a room with friends, everybody's laughing, having a good time, right? And then somebody walks in, and then they try to dominate the room, and they're forcing, you know, they're trying to make everybody laugh. And sometimes, you know, we'll just be like, heh. And then as soon as that guy leaves, everybody talks about him. Like, what was that? Like, what was he doing? What was she doing? Like, why were they trying to That's reaching energy. You can see it. It's when somebody is doing something with a different intention. So I look at things. When I see somebody being rude, I evaluate my own experience. I don't care about them in that regard, because I can't control them. I can't change them. You know, if somebody's going to be rude, they're going to be rude. There's nothing I can do about that. I have no control over other people. I can only worry about my vortex, me, my vibration. You know, that's always number one. So the reason that I have postponed doing the one-on-ones is because it was making me feel, you know, like I was falling into that category of reaching. You know, when you start advertising. And the only reason I wanted to advertise is because it's all for free, and I just want more people to join me and learn and experience. And, you know, I have a class at 5 a.m. Absolutely for free. It's reoccurring. How could that possibly be a scam? A free 45-minute class is a free 45-minute class. You never have to enter your email. You can just jump in. There's a Zoom code. You just enter the Zoom ID and you enter the room. I'll never get information from you if you don't sign up. I want people to sign up just because I can see how many people are coming. And I want to continue to do the classes. That makes me feel good. I want to continue to do Facebook Lives. That makes me feel good. But forcing things for income I don't need, but also, you know, doing an hour-and-a-half session with no energetic exchange is just more going out than I have coming in. And I can't sustain that. So these things just make me look inward. I can evaluate my own behavior. When I see somebody driving very dangerously, I don't judge them. I just evaluate my own behavior. Ernest, how do you drive? You know, because the way that you drive is a direct reflection of your consciousness. Everything out here is a direct reflection of my consciousness, of where I'm at. Because everything out here is just being reflected of everything in here. There are no scams, just the law of attraction. Cool. Yeah, the price was dirt low. So at least for a little while, I'm going to pause the one-on-one sessions. Basically, I paused anything that was taking income because I have money. So that was some of my resistance. That's some of it was causing this little flash in the back of my mind, and I'm like, oh, what's that? What's that? That's an opportunity for me to learn. That's an opportunity for me to evolve from a new desire. It's just showing me my next desire. So even operating from step 5, we still have that contrast. And that contrast is embraced. I love it. I really, really appreciate it. Because that's how I move forward. That's how I grow from that contrast. And it doesn't take me away from my peace. I see it clearly. I know what it is. I know why it's there. It's telling me something that I really need to learn right now. It's showing me my next desire so that I can continue to evolve. Because desire is movement. We're moving. The organism had the desire to move. And so it started to scoot. And then it scooted more. That's true. That's true. So these are all true things, but, I was still having contrast to it. I was going on other people's pages and I'm just like, ooh, like everything about this is just icky. It just feels really icky. It feels like everything is disingenuous when it's all just centered around building a brand. It feels disingenuous when it's all just centered around, split intention. Yeah. I know some of you guys can feel it, and I'm not judging the people who are doing it, because it's just something for me to learn from. It's just an opportunity for me to learn. I can observe behavior and how that makes me feel, and that's all I do. I never go outside of my own vibration. I'm here to offer, I'm here to help because it makes me feel good. And if it makes me feel good, I'm going to continue to do it. And that's when I take a break, Jennifer. That's right. So I'm going to take a little bit of break from the coaching, really focus on getting my book, because I want my book in every library for free. And then from that book, I want to open community centers. This is my desire. I'm already working on one. I'll post you guys some pictures. I'm working with other people because I don't have to do it alone. I want children to learn about the law of attraction. I want young people to learn that they're creating the life that they desire, based on their desires, even if they're not aware of their desires. So I am at peace, and anytime anybody is feeling good, we want to share it. Doesn't that feel true to most people? When you're feeling really good, you want to share it. Where the hell did Instagram come from? Because we want to share it. When we see a sunrise, we're like, ooh, I can't wait to share this with somebody because it's so beautiful. It seems innate, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like that's a part of human nature to want to share what's beautiful? Or what we think is beautiful, what we feel is beautiful? Doesn't that seem almost natural? It feels very natural to me. I don't know about another person's experience. I was calling them like places of refuge, like inner city refuges, refugee, I don't know what, refuges. Is that a word? Refuges? Safe zones is what they were originally called. So in Chicago, they created safe zones for kids where gangs would agree to stay away from, to let the kids be kids. And inside that safe zone, they're safe. No drive-bys. You're not allowed to talk about gangs. You're not allowed to talk about the street stuff. The streets stay on the street. So I'm not trying to change the world. I didn't come here to change the world. I came here to create and share what makes me feel good so that other people can feel good. Because it makes me feel good. Because I'm connecting. I'm making that energetic synchronization to feeling good by helping other people feel good. Just by making things a little bit more clear. It's easy. So I was feeling a lot of resistance to a lot of the coaches I was seeing. So I started looking. I'm a scanner. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm a scanner. So I can scan and see a lot of words very quickly due to a speed reading program, IQ from Infinity Mind. And I was like, oh, so I wonder how many of these posts are from coaches. It didn't make me feel good because I don't want to resonate with that. I don't want to resonate with that reaching energy. So I evaluate my own actions. Where am I coming from? What am I doing? Am I giving out that vibe that I'm just trying to push book sales? Because that's not the vibe I want to give out. So maybe if people are receiving that, that's still something maybe I could look at and learn from. If it's in my field of perception, if it's in my field of awareness, it's there for a reason. To teach me a new desire. My desire is to make my book accessible to every single human being who wants it. Just get up and go to the library. Because I have resistance to elitism. And I embrace that. Q&A. I have not skydived. So does that resonate? I mean, does everybody, I don't know. Are you feeling me on that one? Well, see, when I see contrast, it doesn't change my vibration because I have accumulated momentum. It doesn't change. I don't dip with the dip. Inner peace is a game changer. So I'm not justifying it to other people. Again, it's just evaluating my own experience and my own intentions. Being the observer of myself and what I do. That's it, Mark. That's what the desire was showing me. That I really just want to write this book. I really just want to get this out there. Get it done. And by splitting my attention, I'm moving at a snail's pace, and I'm not gonna get it done. Money is important. You can't pay bills without that good energy. I agree. Yep. So I don't have resistance to money. No resistance to money whatsoever. I have it. I have money. It's okay. I'm gonna have a lot more money as I go because of the accumulation principle. So I don't care about that, I have no resistance to money. Why would I? I have plenty, So somebody who has money has no resistance to money. Somebody who potentially grew up very poor and in poverty and has never seen it, has never experienced it, has never tasted it and touched it, may build up a lot of resistance. And this elitist idea is what is building resistance in people's minds. Focus. Yes, we're only ever taken out of step 5 when we lose focus. Mark, you're right. You're right on. So thank you. I really appreciate you connecting with me today. Because I resonate with what you're saying. Because it's true. I've lost focus. And that's what it was showing me, right? I never lost my inner peace, though. I was able to see that spark of resistance, and it lasted like a fraction of a moment. But it was enough for me because I'm so aware of my own energy. Because I'm constantly moving it with my mind. The yi leads chi. I have the first one done, Angela. Actually, I have a little bit done. It's just going through editing. I don't want to post something to you guys that's just riddled with, because I'm not a writer. Newsflash, I don't have that skill. I haven't accumulated that skill of being a good writer. I just have a story to tell. Something that I think people will find really interesting and will really benefit from. And it's fun to me to share these experiences. I enjoy it. I love it. I connect with it. It makes me vibrate. So can you see how operating for people who know these steps, I can do another Facebook Live where I describe the steps, or you can just listen to Abraham, because it's Abraham's steps. So you can just listen to Abraham on the 5 steps. But from this 5, I'm a storyteller. That's true. I like telling stories. And I've been accumulating momentum since I was 7. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I was experiencing contrast. Things kept coming up in my experience. Why are they being so rude to me? Why are they trying to tear me down? It doesn't affect me. I'm not taken out of my vortex. I am the vortex. It doesn't take my attention or anything away, but it's showing me something. What is this contrast showing me? Well, if I don't embrace it, if I don't love it, if I don't make love to the resistance, I'm not going to learn what my next desire is. So step 5 is when we learn to embrace. And we've been operating from a position of manifesting. We've mastered manifesting. This isn't a thing to me. Like, I can manifest anything, anytime. Now, I do believe that the human mind will get to the point when there is no gap between manifestation, that we'll instantly be able to bring things into reality. So some people may say that's science fiction, but we'll see. We'll see. So, Angela, if you just Google Abraham's 5 steps, so there's a whole thing on that. I have a meditation class. It's one of my new classes, and I'm about to introduce 2 new classes. So I'm going to have 7, 8, 9 free classes. Each is 45 minutes, totally interactive. You can ask me questions, I'll answer questions, and I will never ask for your credit card number. I just want to share. So I do have a subscription that is the $10 a month, and that's the price of 2 cups of coffee, and that's going to pay for the website itself. That's going to pay for the domain, to run the website, to take all of the time that I'm doing. So I'm uploading. It's going to have 10 hours of video content, but the one-on-ones, that any coach will tell you that the money is in one-on-ones that leads to retreats. Retreats is where the money's at, folks. But I was thinking about doing a retreat eventually. I want to bring people together, make connections. So I don't have a real problem with making money, but I do have a problem with not focusing. And Mark said that perfectly. That's a principle of attraction when you lose focus. Your focus is on your feeling, on your body. I go into my experience, and that's why I have found inner peace. It's always there. It's my innate state of being. So operating from a place of inner peace, I proceed with ease, with grace. I'm adaptable to change. Oh, contrast, I can adapt, I can move, and I can embrace it, and I can love it. So I saw contrast. I'm a human being. I'm operating from a place of authority, but I still had this coming up. What does that mean? What's the desire that it's showing me? It led me back to the fact that I just want to write my book. That's where I'm at. I lost focus. I can't do all of those things. I can't do 10 one-on-one sessions a week, 13 Facebook Lives that are each 2 hours, and have the energy to write my book, and have the energy to do my martial art, and have the energy to hang out with my family. I lost focus. I was like butter being spread over too much bread. That's from The Hobbit. There you go, Jennifer. So I know that I'm helping a lot of people understand. And I know that a lot of people are resonating with me. So I can focus on that. Bye, see you. Sorry I make these things so long. Sorry, not sorry, but sometimes people just can't stay for the full 2 hours. I'm giving full-length featured films sometimes, the length, but without all the trailers. I like trailers, though, sometimes. I haven't been to a movie in a long time. Yeah. I need to get back to my focus. So I'm not a coach. That word has not been resonating with me, and that's a reason. Now, that doesn't mean that coaches aren't doing good work. There's some amazing coaches out there. Like, I saw Nick Combs enter this feed. Like, I don't know if he's doing coaching, but he would be fantastic at it. I would endorse him with every single ounce of my being, because he's authentic. I feel it. I connect with authenticity very easily. I feel when somebody is being authentic and when they're reaching. So Nick Combs, I mean, I'm wanting to work with him. I'm wanting to share his work because he has such a clear understanding of the principles of law of attraction as taught by Abraham. And I can learn from him. So I want to share his message. I want to help him. There's no such thing as competition. There's 7 billion people on earth and there's still people littering. Like, we've got a lot of work to do. And we're not trying to change the world. You know, I know Nick Combs is not trying to change the world. He knows he was not brought here to change the world. No way. But sharing feels good. You know, helping people understand feels good. Abraham is helping us understand. We can follow that example. And we can be the beacon of light. We can inspire. We can help answer questions. We can make things more clear if people have questions. You know, that's what we're here to do. We are the ambassadors of the law of attraction, if you will. Yeah, Nick's not here to change the world. And that's not his message. I'm not here to change the world. I just want to share because it feels good. It feels good making connections with people who resonate. It feels good when somebody says, aha, Ernest, I get that. And I can work with that. I can take that tool that you gave me and I can cross the divide between theory and application. That feels good. We do what feels good. And that's why when you look at, and I'm sorry, Nick, I'm picking on you because I saw your name. But when I see what he's doing, I don't feel reaching energy. He's not reaching. He's not trying to dig into people's pockets. You know, if he offered a service that had monetary value, fuck yeah, do that, man. You deserve it. You know, it's taking your time. It's taking your energy. But he's not reaching into people's pockets. You know, the things that he's doing isn't just, you know, hey, you know, buy. Hi, Lisa. So I resonate with him. I connect with him. You know, I make that energetic vibration. And Nick knows that I have a lot of learning to do in terms of the teachings of Abraham. But I have found inner peace, so it's really easy for me. I have found my inner peace. I've worked with it for years and years and years. And I always feel so good, despite contrast. I've been creating the life of my desire, the entire life that I desire, for a long time now. Guided meditations. I'm going to be offering some guided meditations. I've been meditating for many years. I offer people tools so that they can remain more mindful, tuned in, tapped. Is it tuned in, tapped on, turned on, checked in? Yeah. Checked in, tuned on, tapped in. I am that. I'm following those physical steps. And I can give examples of how I did it. You can take that little tool and use it, or you can throw it away. I'm that artist who just makes his art in the sand, knowing that the tide will take it away each morning. So I hope that this is, you know, as clear as possible. You know, when we're operating from step 5, we're embracing the contrast. We love the contrast. We invite the contrast because it's our teacher. It's how we know our truest desire. And I was able to see through this contrast, by embracing it, that I wasn't being as authentic as I want to be. Because I just want to write. And I want to do these Facebook Lives. Because they're fun. I love having an audience at 4 a.m. who find what I have to say interesting. I would love to talk about the power of co-creating. Yeah, hey, if you guys ever have a topic you want me to talk about, send me a line. And, you know, maybe I'll come across a topic that I need to team up with somebody because, you know, they can help me understand. I am not better than anybody. No way. I have a very sharp resistance to elitism. I don't connect with it. I can't make that alignment with elitism. I'm better than you. Or somebody's better than me. I just don't resonate with that. you know. Maybe Nick can let me know, where that's coming from or whatever. I don't know. I haven't let it bother me. I haven't let it take me out of my momentum. I don't let it take me out of my vortex. I still feel wonderful all the time. I see contrast. I love it. I embrace it. I'm like, oh, hey, contrast. What you got to teach me today? Love you. Because it's there to teach me. Help me go to the next desire. So I am not perfect. By anybody else's standard, at least. By my own, I'm constantly perfecting myself moment by moment by moment, which actually is just one ever-present moment. Allowing, I had an advantage because I practiced the Chinese martial art Tai Chi Chuan, which is the art of allowing. Thank you, Nick. How did I know what it was trying to teach me? Because of my reaction. How it made me feel. For just a moment, I was like, ooh, that's icky. I went to a coach's page where they were clearly reaching. Every single thing that they're doing is essentially trying to bring people to them, rather than just giving it away, and making connections as it may. Right? So the reaching energy is when somebody comes into the room and they try to shift the vibration using force. Hi, Cammy. Thank you. So I can see when somebody is attempting to use force. Everything that they do centers around something that's going to, well, you can see it for yourself. When that person enters the room and they're trying to dominate the vibration, you can feel it. When every single post is trying to bring people to their services, you can feel it. I can feel it, and I don't connect to that for whatever reason, So maybe someday Nick can tell me, what's going on with this. Why do I have that resistance? I can't align to it. I can't. I can't. I can't align to elitism. And I can't align to reaching energy. And this contrast that I was feeling just illuminated that for me. It helped me understand that I still, I'm always evolving. I'm always growing by allowing. I allow the contrast. I embrace it. And then it shows me, oh, Ernest, you lost a little bit of focus there, buddy. You were like butter being spread over too much bread. So you need to bring back in your focus. And my focus is writing this book, even though I'm not a writer. I'm not a good writer at all. I look at Nick and I'm like, wow, it comes easy to him. His words are so clear. I don't have that. I haven't built that skill. So I need to work on that. I need to accumulate more skill, be a better writer, so that I can share my story. Because I've been applying the law of attraction since I was about 5. I've understood that I was a creator of my reality since I was a small child. I have learned, when I was younger, that I could manipulate my attention, that I had direct choice over where I would place my mind and what I would bring into my field of perception. I was using the law of attraction in junior high. I knew that I could do it. I knew that I could allow and open and that things would come to me. I was operating that way. So I was in stage 3, if we want to use stages. Stage 1 was a long time ago. And it's continuous, right? Because I still see contrast. I would never push against it. I allow it. I embrace it. I'm not afraid of anything. I have no fear. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. So maybe someday I could just help people, learn how to be a better speaker, because that's a skill I have. Just like I can teach people how to move a certain way, because I'm a Tai Chi teacher. I've been given the authority by my teacher to teach the beginning aspects of our system. Guess what the beginning aspects of my Tai Chi system is? As taught by Sifu Malong, which means horse dragon. His name's Horse Dragon. I always think about that, like, that's badass. I'm earnest. Guess what the beginning of our system focuses on? Our Tai Chi system, our martial art. So the system as taught by my Sifu, my teacher. Peace. Just peace. We don't focus on foot placement. We don't focus on technicalities. We focus on feeling. The entire beginning of our system is feeling peace. So can you see where this is all coming together in Ernest's story? Inner peace is a game changer. An absolute game changer. In so many ways. And then what's beyond step 5? I honestly can see that the human species will have the ability to instantly manifest into reality, 3-dimensional reality, mind over matter. And I honestly believe that eventually we'll be able to vibrate out of the physical body. The physical body will change. It will evolve into a closer aspect of Source. Now, I could just be making all that up as I go along. That's okay. I have an imagination. It's what I believe could be potentially beyond step 5. When you're in step 5 long enough. What can we create? Maybe we can create different planes of existence. I'm experiencing things I just don't know how to put words to yet, and that will be the later chapters of my book. Thanks, Mark. The message will be good. The sentence structure and the grammar, maybe not. You're never late. You're right on time. A wizard is never late. They arrive exactly when they intend to. That's twice I've quoted The Hobbit today. So I do have a 5 a.m. class, and I'm really excited about this class because I'm talking about the law of attraction in the ancients. Sure, Denise, thank you. So the law of attraction in the ancients, because the law of attraction is not new. It's the way that the universe changes. It's the blueprint. So the ancients have been working with the law of attraction for a long time. Abraham has come to us at this time in our history, in our lives, in this moment, to help guide us, to help us humans. I appreciate that. I love that. That's awesome. But it's not new. Even before they put the words law of attraction in the 1920s, it was law of success. They did actually even call it a secret at one point. Ancient civilizations were consciously creating. The pyramids. Nations. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here pretty soon. Does anybody have any questions? Was this clear when I talk about step 5 and how I've experienced contrast, and step 5 is embracing that contrast, loving that contrast, and that's how we continue to evolve? If a person thinks that they're going to stop experiencing contrast, they'll stop evolving, they'll stop moving, their mind will stop moving, right? But we also don't want to resist the contrast, because then we're just back at step 1. Resistance is futile. Focusing on lack will manifest more lack, actualize more lack. Yeah. Awesome. So this seems to be pretty clear. So I did experience that resistance. I embraced it. I loved it. I learned from it. And now I see that I was spreading myself too thin, and that wasn't really ever my desire. Maybe I started reaching a little bit too, I'm not sure. Yeah, because they kicked me out. So I was removed from the group. And then when I showed Willie that, first of all, I had asked for permission to advertise, and that the rules say that advertising is allowed, he was just like, yeah, of course, and he invited me back in right away. And I just proceeded with absolutely no hard feelings or anything. Like, it was all there to show me something, right? Bye. See you next time. I'll be back in the morning tomorrow. Is today Sunday? Or is it Saturday? Friday, Saturday. Do it. What am I doing? Oh, today's Sunday, right? Yeah. That's my retired mind. I feel retired. Even when I was working 9 hours a day, I felt retired. See you. Bye, Jennifer. Yes, today's Sunday. Okay, Sunday. Yeah, I have a Tai Chi class at 1 p.m. It's not a scam. It's for free. I'm qualified to teach. I've been doing it for a long time. I've had a private teacher for 6 years. In most systems, after 5 years, you can open your own school. After 5 years, you would have earned a black belt. After 6 years, I'm barely able to teach the beginning aspects of my system. After learning Kung Fu for 20 years, I'm not able to teach the full scope of Tai Chi Chuan because it's so deep. And it's all law of attraction. Every little bit of it. Because it's working with the principles and laws of the universe. So, I've posted it on Elegant Crane, which is my page. Just a page that I made so you guys can follow me. I'm not allowed to advertise it anymore on this group. I'm not even going to bother. So I'm not going to advertise anything anymore on this group. I'm just going to do my Facebook Lives. Hope you guys connect. I'm in Central Time Zone. So on my website, it has the Zoom ID. So I use zoom.us/join. So you can just use the code, jump right in. Boom, you're there. It's that easy. You don't need to enter your credit card number. You don't need to enter your email address. It's absolutely 100% unequivocally for free. Hashtag no scams. I don't want to scam anybody. I don't want to take from anybody. I just want to give. I want to share. I want to love. It feels good to love. It does, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel good to love and embrace other human beings exactly how they are? Can you imagine how good it feels to have inner peace? To not ride the wave of contrast? To observe that you're on a roller coaster while also enjoying the roller coaster? You do not need... Well, if you're on your phone, the phone requires the Zoom app, which is free, and it works perfectly. And it can hold up to 100 people without losing bandwidth. That's why I use Zoom. Because I'd love to have classes of 100 people. And if I would have charged everybody $5, I could have made $500. My classes are free. Because I believe in accessibility. I'm pretty sure Abraham, Esther and Jerry Hicks' Ask and It Is Given is in the library. So it's also available. They've made it available. I think iPad would just use the browser. I think iPad just works like a PC. I think. I don't have an iPad, but I have a Mac. So I'm not going to advertise these classes here, but I do have my own page, which may lead you to something else that I'm not going to advertise. But I'm only going to do Facebook Lives here. That's it. No advertising, nothing. Because I just don't want that energy. I don't want that coming back at me. No reaching energy from Ernest. I'm just going to make myself available, drop the microphone, and walk away. I did that yesterday. I ended my Facebook Live very abruptly. That was my proverbial dropping the microphone just for fun, like Obama did. You got to admit, that was classy as hell. That was really cool when Obama dropped the microphone and did the peace out. Think what you want to, but that man is cool. Super cool. Like, I could just hang out with Obama all day. It's Elegant Crane. Elegant Crane is the name that my teacher gave to me. And it starts in 30 minutes. So I'm just going to go get some more coffee, get a glass of water, do some of my morning stretches, and then I'll be right on. And we'll talk about the law of attraction and the ancients. And I have some great books right here ready to go, because Tai Chi follows the law of attraction. The Yi leads Qi. No resistance. Changing with change. The path with the least resistance. The energy will flow. The law of attraction is in everything about Tai Chi, but I don't have to just talk about Tai Chi, I can talk about some of the ancient philosophers, I can talk about the ancient physicists. If we call Einstein ancient, I guess he wasn't ancient, but I can talk about these figures of the past who were using the law of attraction, and they even talk about it without using the words law of attraction. Einstein said that reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. He said the true measure is how a person has detached themselves from the illusion of self. Albert Einstein was saying that. He knew that through thought experiments, imagination, and visualization, he could actualize. He never called it the law of attraction. And I have some extreme examples of dictators who were powerful manifestors. But they had no peace. And they suffered, and they caused an immense amount of suffering. Peace is the game changer, folks. And that's what I'm here to teach. How does inner peace relate to the law of attraction? I can talk about that because I'm operating from a position of authority. ElegantCrane.com. I'll drop it in the line below. And you'll see free Facebook Live videos. So I'm just uploading, and since it's a new website, I still have a lot of work to do. I upload them to my YouTube, which you can go to my YouTube too and see all of my Facebook Live videos for free. I can't charge for Facebook Live videos. I don't even want to. It's just my time that I'm sharing. And when you go to my link, you can see free classes, you see free Facebook Live, and I've taken off any coaching because I'm not doing that right now. I still have some coaching sessions, and I'm going to work with those people, but I'm not going to take on any new clients right now because I don't want to be a coach. It's not fitting with my desire. I want to be a teacher, a spiritual teacher. I want to help people understand inner peace and where to find it, because it's all here. This is why I'm adverse to elitism, because everything you've ever needed to know is already inside you. You are the you are. You are the master of the universe. You just have to operate from step 5 to fully actualize it. So I don't really prefer the word step, because step, and this is all just my mind, right? This is all just my associations, my attachment. It has nothing to do with you. If you have a completely different association, then that's valid in your experience. But it's my Facebook Live, so I'm just sharing mine. But I don't judge yours. I don't try to control yours. I just allow you to exist, because each and every one of you in here is a beautiful human being, a beautiful person that I love. My love is visceral. I can't make that shit up. I can't trademark the law of attraction. I can't. I can't all patent pending, law of attraction, the tools and tips and tricks. And I'm not just going to rewrite the words of the ancient masters and put my name on the bottom. Follow to flow. So that's what Tai Chi does. Wu-Ji. Wei Wu Wei. Actionless action. Just moving with the flow of the universe. Energy loves to spiral, so I spiral. The body is a conduit of energy. There's so much happening with the human body that we can't see. We are connecting to Source because we are Source. We come from. We can feel it in our being. We can feel this energy move. We can move the chi to keep us healthy. We can move the chi to manifest our reality. And I move with the energy. Chen Sao, silk reeling. I move with it. I feel it. That's why it's so much visceral for me. It's not just abstract. I'm not just quoting the ancient masters, and I'm not just jumping in Facebook to point out how everybody else is wrong and I'm right. There's no wrong or right. There's no wrong way. Thank you, Hosir. There is no wrong way. Wouldn't it be easier if there was a right way? Your way is your way. Where you're at is where you're at. Embrace where you're at. Find that peace that's inside of you. Allow, like that flower. Just allowing more sunlight. Okay, so I have to go in just a few minutes because I have to do this class. If you have time for another question, please. So if we basically just feel good all day, can we manifest whatever we want, i.e. healing? Mm-hmm. Yep. Feeling good. It's not necessarily associated with positive and negative, because I don't think positively, because I don't think negatively. I just feel fantastic, and I follow that feeling. So I feel good. I do what makes me feel good. I eat a certain way because it makes me feel good. I drink a certain way because it makes me feel good. I wake up at a certain type of day because it makes me feel good. I do Facebook Lives because it makes me feel good. I do Tai Chi because it makes me feel good. I make love because it makes me feel good. I go out in nature because it makes me feel good. I observe and I connect and I look and I feel and I imprint and I feel beauty all of the time because it makes me feel good. You know, this life makes me feel good. That's step 5. And when contrast comes, I embrace it. I am a pioneer. I have all this original thinking. I have all of these great ideas on ways that I can live my ultimate manifestation. Continuously. Evolving. So I am not here to judge you. Anybody who is in step 2, I am here. I can help if you want me to help. If not, then that's okay too. But I will never judge another human being. I will never giggle. You're in step 2. Welcome to step 5. If you'd like to go to step 6, all I need is your credit card number. So I'm just not about that. And you can see my resistance to it, right? I know Nick can. He's like, Ernest, of course, I can see that. But I embrace it. Like, it's there. It's there to teach me that I'm not here to do a certain thing. Oh, thank you. Although I was late and I felt hasty. Oh, okay. There's a lot of people that just are not resonating with Ernest. And guess what? That's to be expected. There's 7 billion people on Earth, and that's why I'm supporting other people like Nick. You know, Christine Lynn. You know, she's all about kindness, and I love that message. So I want to connect with people because I'm not going to reach everybody. You know, some people are just going to look at Ernest and just be like, number 1, I don't like the way he looks. Number 2, I don't like the sound of his voice. Number 3, he's full of shit. So maybe that person can connect with somebody else, and that's okay. You know, there's 7 billion people on the earth, and a vast majority of them still think that it's okay to litter. We have a lot of work to do, and it doesn't imply changing. I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to create. It's what you're here to do. It's what we're all here to do. It's exciting. It's fun. We are source. We are coming from that place. And through space of no mind comes creativity. Any artist knows it. Anybody who's a writer who's trying to think of a creative story knows it. If you're thinking, you block the creative flow. If I'm thinking about my martial arts, I'm clumsy. If a writer is thinking, the imagination doesn't flow. All thinking will take you further from source in terms of internal dialogue. But positive thinking can help counter negative thinking. Oh, I gotta go. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. Yes, I pick up the litter. When I get back home, I'm going to do my meetup to clean up. And that's just me. That's just me living by my principles. I'm not trying to change anybody. I don't want to change anybody. I just want to love everybody. Even the people who give me shit. The people who send me messages on Facebook and tell me to literally, like, there's people, I won't forget, Karen. There are literally people who are messaging me to fuck off. You know, there's somebody who said that I'm just sitting here quoting Star Wars. And I'm like, what? Like, do you realize that Star Wars was stolen from Eastern tradition? Chi, force sensitive, chi sensitive? Huh. Okay. So just remember, wherever you go, there you are. And we have a choice. We can either go with or against. See, the thing is that if I ignore them, I'm not embracing the contrast. Because I'm not having an emotional reaction from it. It's not changing my feeling, so it's not changing my vibration. That's step 5. Step 5 is it doesn't change your vibration. You just embrace it and you learn from it. So I'm not going to ignore them. Now, if they're causing an emotional reaction, that's what I need to do. So if it's changing my feeling and I don't feel good, then no. I'm sorry. Like I don't need this. Click, 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 off, off, off. However, since I don't react to it, it doesn't change my vibration. It's still beating. My love is still there. You can't hurt me. You can't take me out of my peace. It doesn't depend on you. Nobody is doing anything to anybody. But if you're operating from place 5, you see it and you can learn. I said place 5, step 5, whatever. You embrace the contrast. You see it, you love it. You operate from a position of authority and power because it doesn't affect your vibration. You're not resistant. Your thought becomes cutting edge. You have all of these creative ideas. You're blazing a new trail for people to just follow, I don't have to try to suck you all in. Okay, yeah, so I gotta go. So my first class starts in about 20 minutes, and it'll be on Zoom, and you guys can come in for free. It holds up to 100 people. Just go to zoom.us/join, enter the meeting ID. It will never ask for your credit card number. It won't ask for your email address. Absolutely nothing. It's just 45 minutes of us chit-chatting. And we're going to talk about some of the ancient masters. And in this class, I'm going to be a little bit general. And I'm just going to show some examples of how people have been consciously creating. And that conscious creation is not new. It's not. It's not copywritten by Esther Hicks. I'm sorry. The teachings of Abraham, of course, because that's Abraham's teachings. The teachings of Ernest, that's my shit. Patent pending. I'm just joking. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. If you do come to my class, I don't know. And then at 1 p.m. I'm doing Tai Chi. This is all Central Time Chicago. So you go to zoom.us. So zoom.us/join. There's a spot for you to enter a meeting ID. The meeting ID is on my website under free classes meeting ID. So you can just go to my website, go to free classes. On free classes, it shows you the meeting ID, and you can just select join and enter the meeting ID from there. If you're using an iPhone or a handheld phone, what phone isn't handheld? So if you have a phone, then you need to download the app, and the app is free. So no scams. I'm not taking anybody's money. We're just chit-chatting. We're just a bunch of friends hanging out, talking about some shit, right? It's a club. We'll call it a club. That's a good idea. I'm going to call it yeah. Ooh, see? Creativity. It's just flowing. I'm traveling all around the country in a really creative and fun way. I'm experimenting with my theories of martial arts in a really fun way. High altitude. I want my feet to be stronger, so I'm walking on soft sand. I'm having a ball being creative. It's so fun. All right, see you guys. I love you guys, and may the force be with you.